Well, we are going to branch out into real estate today on our puppy training tip. It's all about location, location, location. In this case, we're talking about where puppies are going to end up peeing or doing their other business. So there's a couple of different things going on here, and it is actually related a lot to what I talked about yesterday. So I talked about surfaces. Puppies often have a really strong preference for a particular type of surface when they're going to the toilet. This is more about where they're choosing to go, what environment and what particular spot do they keep going back to, independent of their actual surfaces that they're going to. Right, so if anyone has any issues with a particular spot, their puppy just keeps going back there and it's not where you want your puppy to go or your rescue dog, please do post in and I might be able to help you out, do a little bit of troubleshooting. But this tip I think will help a lot of people when they're trying to transition. There's two locations that I want to broadly talk about. Location number one is the actual location where you want the puppy to go. So you've got to consider that spot first. It might be your entire backyard, anywhere outside. That might be your criteria. Some of us are a little bit more picky about, you don't want to be tripping over piles in the middle of the night when you go outside. So you've got your puppy's area picked out in your garden bed. So think about that one. I'm going to get back into a little bit more detail. The other location, though, is where your puppy chooses to go when you've got them. So it might be a particular corner of a particular room in your house. It might be beside one of the doors inside your house. So those might be their particular spots. Sometimes they'll actually go behind a particular piece of furniture. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit more detail in a sec. But these are pretty short tips. If you want to join a puppy course, I will talk to you on the phone for half an hour on this issue if you need help. So there's a lot of different details in here, but I'm just going to cover the basics. So outside, well, presumably outside, if you're in an apartment, it might be a puppy, a dog loo, so it'll be grass on something to catch the drippings, and it's cleanable. So whatever your spot is, that's where you want them to go. Think about what your puppy would actually like in a spot. A lot of puppies want a little bit of privacy. Adult dogs as well. They don't want everybody in the world seeing when they are having a private moment. It's a little different if they're on a walk and they're marking as they get older. That's a bit of a different thing. When they're actually doing a poo particularly, that's kind of a vulnerable position. They've got to be there for a little bit, and they don't want someone rushing up to them. So they kind of want to be a little bit hidden. So out in the middle of the open, maybe somewhere they don't actually want to be, you might need to actually provide a little bit of a screen, whether that's a shrub or whatever it is. If you are doing an indoor loo, you can put up some exercise pen, even if it's just on two sides of your spot, and drape a towel over so that there's a bit of a corner. So that's something to consider. The other thing when you are considering an outdoor spot is weather conditions. If it's blazing hot, 42 degrees outside, and they've been sitting in the air conditioning with you in the house, if they go out and you want them to go across a very hot stretch of pavers, you might find that they're not going to go there. They're going to actively avoid that. Or on the other side of things, this time of year when it's absolutely pouring with rain outside, if your spot is like a waterfall, most dogs will not go there. So providing some kind of shade or rain shelter in that location where you want them to go can make a huge difference to your success rate, particularly when your weather's being problematic. A lot of people will have this experience. They think their puppy's perfectly well toilet trained, then we get a couple of rainy days and bingo, they're going back in the house again. Well, who wants to get wet feet when you're peeing, right? So just be mindful of that one. So yeah, really interesting that people don't consider this. They've got to be comfortable when they're going to the toilet. So let's go to location number 2. This is the one where we are in the position where they're going to the toilet in the wrong place. It's in our house. We don't want to have to clean up every 5 seconds. It's a real drama for us. But for your puppy, there's some reason that they like to go there. So, of course, we've already covered, replicate that outside if you can, a nice corner or sheltered or whatever. But inside, we've got this habit going. So, again, we're going to go back to yesterday's tip, which is surfaces. Get yourself a surface thingy that is movable. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Wherever it is that they're going, you're going to put something down on top of that piece of floor. Make it absorbent or make it contained so that it's easier for you to clean up and reward them. Once you've got stuck in this position, you can't just reward them for going outside because they're going to keep going back whenever you're not watching. I will mention tip number 1, try and watch your puppy 100% of the time if you've got this problem, but that's kind of impossible. We have got lots of distractions. So what you're going to do as an interim, if you must, you're going to reward them for going in the wrong spot on the right surface. So this is your cleanable, whatever it is, carpet square on top of a piece of plastic. I don't care. Just get them going there. And then you're going to inch this item further and further towards your door, your access door to outside, or further and further towards where you want their pee station to be. Now, if you've got a dog loo, that's a huge advantage. This is your piece of fake grass on top of a catcher. If they're already going on that, just put it in the wrong spot. I don't care how inconvenient it is for you for a few days. Reward them very highly for going in on that surface in that spot, and then start moving it very slowly, inch by inch, pea by pea. You're going to get that surface to where you want it to be. One little quick thing I will mention, I am not a fan of pee pads as a toilet training solution, because what it does is it teaches your puppy to pee in that spot. So if you're old school and you're locking a puppy into a laundry at night and you're making them go on those pee pads, you're also teaching them to pee inside the house. You're teaching them that peeing inside the house is absolutely normal and that's what you want. That's why one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of teaching your pup to sleep beside your bed and being able to wake up and take them outside. So taking them to their spot, even though it's going to disrupt your sleep for a couple of weeks, in the long run, you end up with much better toilet training. So there we go. That's basically your location issues. Pick a spot where you want them to go. Make it as comfortable, private, whatever your puppy needs as possible. And then, of course, you're going to be rewarding them when they're going out there, but you're also going to take their bad spot that they've developed in your house, and you're going to start moving that slowly towards your door. It'll start, inch it towards the back door. That's where they're going, inside the back door, and then you've just got to prop that door open for a day or so, pick a nice weather day, and you're going to move that surface over the threshold just outside the back door. Do that for a few days if you can. A huge amount of rewards when they're going on that surface outside the back door, and then you're going to inch it outside. It will take a while if you've got this problem developed. The ideal is that they never actually get into the habit of going in the house. So that's toilet training tip number 4. If you want to have another session where you catch up with me, you can either go to Dog Training Help on Facebook or around the place on my website. Get in touch with me, give me a ring. As I've said, I'm happy to talk about puppies and their toileting habits. Glad to help if you've got any issues. So I will see you again tomorrow. I will be back again with toilet training tip number 5. I will see you then.